Hello grade 7s and welcome to your second video about the ancient Israelites. So here's today's title and our two learning objectives. So please write these in your book with today's date, whatever day you may be watching this. Underline the title and get this all into your notebook. So today we are going to be talking about the Promised Land. You'll find out what that is, although you have heard of it already. We are going to understand how Joshua and the judges won back the territory, and we are going to explore the difficulties of uniting Israelites. So remember, you can pause this video at any time. If you want to watch it once through and then take your notes, you can do that. It's all up to you. You can go at your own pace. All right, let's get started. So remember, I would like you to copy these bullet points into your notes. If you have your own shorthand that you would like to use, go ahead and do that. So the Promised Land. It probably took the Israelites about 40 years to reach Canaan. Moses never lived to see the Promised Land. After Moses died, a leader named Joshua took over and brought the Israelites into Canaan. When they arrived, however, they found other people living there. Most were Canaanites. The Israelites believed it was God's will that they would conquer the Canaanites, so Joshua led them into battle. The story of the campaign is told in the Hebrew Bible. Joshua led the Israelites to the city of Jericho and told them to march around the city's walls. For 6 days they marched while 7 priests blew their trumpets. On the 7th day, the trumpets sounded one at a time. And Joshua told the Israelites to raise a great shout. According to the story, the walls of Jericho crumbled and the Israelites overran the city. Joshua led the Israelites into 3 more wars. The land they seized was divided among the 12 tribes. So here you can see the leaders of the 12 tribes here. You can see the trumpeters and, of course, the walls crumbling down. So who were the judges? After Joshua died, the Israelites looked to judges for leadership. A judge was usually a military leader. Generally, he or she commanded 1 or 2 tribes, but seldom all 12. The Hebrew Bible tells about Barak, Gideon, Samuel, Eli, Samson, and others, including a woman judge. Her name was Deborah. Deborah told Barak to attack the army of the Canaanite king Jabin. She went along to the battlefield as an advisor. With Deborah's help, Barak and 10,000 Israelites destroyed King Jabin and his army in about 1125 BCE. Over time, the Israelites won control of the hilly region in central Canaan. The Canaanites kept the flat coastal areas. To protect themselves, the Israelites built walled towns. They also created an alphabet and a calendar based on Canaanite ideas. Alphabets and calendars are definitely something we'll see throughout all these civilizations we look at. One group of Canaanites, the Phoenicians, lived in cities along the Mediterranean Sea. The Phoenicians were skilled sailors and traders. Their ships carried goods across the Mediterranean to Greece, Spain, and even Western Africa. Through trade, the Phoenicians spread ideas and goods. One of their most important ideas was an alphabet, or a group of letters that stood for sounds. The letters could be used to spell out the words in their language. The alphabet made writing simpler and helped people keep records. The Phoenicians brought the idea of an alphabet to the Greeks. They in turn passed it on to the Romans. Most Western alphabets are based on the Roman alphabet, and we're going to look at that Phoenician alphabet in class. Around 1000 BC, the strongest people that lived in Canaan were not the Israelites, but the Philistines. The Philistines had strong cities and they knew how to make iron tools and weapons. According to the Hebrew Bible, some Israelites began copying the Philistine religion. It suggests the Israelites began to think they needed a king of their own to prevent the problem. They probably believed a king would unite the tribes and help them fight off the Philistines. Around 1020 BCE, the Israelites asked Samuel to choose a king. Samuel was a judge and a prophet. A prophet is a person who the ancient Israelites thought was instructed by God. Samuel warned that a king would tax the Israelites and make them slaves. The Israelites still demanded a king, so they chose a warrior farmer named Saul. Samuel anointed Saul as the king. Saul was tall and handsome, and he won many battles. Saul defeated the Israelites' enemies in battle after battle. However, according to the Hebrew Bible, the king displeased God by disobeying some of his commands. God then chose another king and instructed Samuel to anoint him in secret. The new king was a young shepherd named David. And you have definitely heard of the story of David and Goliath, and that is the same David. And on the title page, you can see that picture here. That is why I put that up. So there you go. Let's continue to talk more about King David. So even before he became king of Israel, David was known for his bravery and leadership. In the Hebrew Bible, the story of David and Goliath describes how he became famous. Before a battle against the Philistines, a giant Philistine named Goliath dared any Israelite to fight him one-on-one. David stepped forward with the shepherd's staff, a slingshot, and 5 smooth stones. Goliath roared and rushed forward with a heavy spear. David hurled 1 stone straight at the giant's forehead, and Goliath dropped dead on the spot. Saul put David in charge of the army. As his victories grew, Israelite women sang his praises. David hid out in enemy territory until Saul and his 3 sons were killed in battle. The bitter rivalry was over. David was able to take the throne in about 1000 BCE. Once in power, according to the Hebrew Bible, David drove the Philistines from the area. He conquered other neighboring nations and created an empire. An empire is a nation that rules several other nations. Conquered peoples had to pay David tribute. Tribute is money or slaves given to a stronger ruler. David made the Israelites pay heavy taxes. He needed money to expand Israel's capital, which is called Jerusalem. He wanted a fine temple there so that sacred religious objects cherished by the Israelites could finally have a permanent home. David died before he built the temple, but the Israelites remembered him as their greatest king, as do Jews today. King Solomon. When David died, his son, Solomon, became king. It was Solomon who built a splendid stone temple in Jerusalem. It became the symbol and the center of Jewish religion. In the Hebrew Bible, Solomon was known for his wise sayings, but many Israelites hated his rule. Solomon taxed the people to pay for his great buildings. The Israelites in the north were especially unhappy with Solomon. To get more money, Solomon had made many of their young men work in mines or a neighboring country. When Solomon died, the northerners rebelled and fighting broke out. 10 of those 12 original tribes that we've spoken about set up their own nation in the north. It was called the Kingdom of Israel, and its capital was Samaria. In the south, the other 2 tribes found the smaller kingdom of Judah. Its capital was Jerusalem, and its people were called the Jews. So here you can see the map. We've talked about the Phoenicians and their alphabet. They were the sailors and traders. We have 10 of the original 12 tribes who have created this kingdom here, the Kingdom of Israel, with Samaria as their capital. And then the 2 remaining tribes had this kingdom here called Judah, and its capital is Jerusalem. All right, guys, that's it for today. Please finish writing your notes, and I'll see you in class on Monday. Have a great weekend.